If I die tomorrow, I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
Popping like it, like, oh wait, oh, this is switch this up. This is there we go. Wait,
stop touching it.
Oh my god,
Jesus.
guys, it's not that serious.
Jesus fucking.
I blame StreamYard because it loads it in wrong all the time. What's up, everybody? It's
This is
Tuesday
also gonna
night.
get changed as soon as everyone else comes in. You know this, right?
Listen, it's chaos. We have a fun episode tonight. We have a great stack deluxe episode tonight. So yeah, welcome guys. Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is your boy Sebastian.
It's your boy.
Your boy Tone from across the hall.
I love you.
I appreciate y'all. I was not here last week, but you know we're off. We're here. We're here to get it. We've got a couple things to talk about, and I'm glad to be back.
Oh yeah, Tone is back.
Fit a lot into an episode today, so let's see how.
Yeah, we did. We got a nice deluxe episode. We'll even have an intermission. So just to give you guys a rundown,
we have an international episode. I don't know.
Oh
man.
yeah, like this is super international.
So first up, we're gonna have Mogan Quad come in, who we're gonna talk about his series that's out. You can actually see the Kickstarter link in the links in the description. It is called Shadow's Daughter. So we're gonna have him come on, talk a little bit about that. After that, then we're gonna talk about Book of Boba, because you know that was a final, and then right after that we'll go into an intermission and then jump into Peacemaker. But before that.
And then because it happened during the Super Bowl, so we can have time to tease it.
Oh, we'll be
talking about Doctor Strange.
Absolutely,
we will most definitely be talking Doctor Strange.
Absolutely, there's so many things to talk about today.
Yeah,
it's a great day to be a geek because Nerds is on, and we got a lot of great content tonight. But first up, some announcements really quickly, guys. So some announcements I just want to get through real quick. The only announcement I'm gonna say is that. Make sure you have the calendar in your calendar. The dates locked in for August 20th and 21st. Imbion Con is coming back virtual. Imbion Con online. Again, the convention will happen August 20th and 21st. It is a full virtual convention, so there will be definitely announcements coming soon about panels, creators, and everything. If you're a creator or someone who's looking to also check out the packages or VIP, last year's VIPs, there were physical crates actually sent out. So it was a great big package that was sent out. I know because I was the one who mailed them. And we had a lot of great featured creators, a lot of great content, and a lot of it is still on there, so you can actually go back and watch 2021's convention. All the panels are still there for everyone to watch. It was all amazing. A bunch of creators got together and we just delivered, and so we're excited to bring back 2022 to you guys. But that's it for the announcements. Medusa's Cascade, Law's book, so don't forget Law's book. He is definitely going to plug that away. But today's episode,
my book launch.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to have a whole launch party again with that, the whole relaunch party. But aside from that, we got to bring out our guests because I want to get down to the nitty gritty, and because it's calling us from way across the pond, other side of the world, and we're excited to have him on here and talk about his new book, Shadow's Daughter, which again, it's a very beautiful book, guys. Great soundtrack attached to it.
I am loving all of this.
Definitely want to back this Kickstarter.
Yep.
Get him to some stretch goals. Give him $1 million. So I want to welcome the one, the only Mogan Quad. Morgan, what's up?
Hey, how you going, guys?
Welcome.
What's going on?
Welcome. So Morgan, welcome to the madness that is known the Nerds of the Round. Welcome. How do you feel?
Thanks for having me. I already feel at home. This is great.
Good. Glad to hear it.
It's the whole vibe. That's what we try to go for.
A lot of beards as well. A lot of handsome dudes with beards. So
yeah,
we try.
Yeah, I was a mustache only, and then I figured, fuck it, let me just grow this thing out and get all the stuff.
Join Team Beards.
Yeah,
nice, man. You look like a handsome version of me. So
there you go. I try to emulate the best. That's what we try to do here.
So Morgan, what got you in the world, involved in the world of comics and music production? Because you also you pretty much produced the contract to not just Shadow's Daughters, but pretty much all your comics when you go to your website. So tell us a little about that. Give us your backstory. Tell us how you became Spider-Man in your comic book world.
Cool. Yeah. So I started, as I suppose a lot of people do, a failed writer, trying to make it big in novels and all that sort of stuff. Trying to get, the traditional thing, get a literary agent, get a huge publisher, and then, push aside Harry Potter and on comes whatever I'm doing. And that didn't work. And that was, kind of tough to take. So I wasn't really into comics when I was younger. To be honest, they kind of confused me because you had words, but then you had the pictures, and I could never quite. I'd always get lost in one or the other. So they weren't a big thing when I was younger. So it was only when I was a little bit older, around about 15 years or 10 years ago, walked into a comic shop, picked up some indie comics, and thought, "What have I been doing for the last 10 years?" So I just started. I had some novels ready to go. So instead of putting the novels out, I just turned them into scripts, started finding artists, working on, setting up comics, doing all the really bad, dumb, wrong things that you shouldn't do. I didn't talk to anyone first. I didn't find out about the industry. I knew nothing. I just went right in. But alongside that, for a number of years, I've been a music producer, started to get a little bit more involved in hip hop, which, you could tell I have the complexion and the face for it. Not so much the front end side, but more production and beats and that sort of stuff. And I've been working for a number of years doing music for film and TV and, sort of working with other producers and stuff. And that essentially gave me the money that I could spend on the artwork to get the comics out there. So that's how it all kind of started. And then I thought, every project that I've done, particularly on Kickstarter, I thought, well, why not do an album as part of it? Because that's what I do. It's something that I can offer that maybe not everyone can. So I just started doing that and been doing it ever since.
Dude,
yeah, that's really dope. I mean, I know we had, the name is slipping my mind, but I know we had another artist come in and they also had a soundtrack for their piece. And it really just gets you into the mindset of what your world, and just so like it's just another piece to get you in. So instead of listening to listening to outside sounds or listening to music, whatever your state of mind is to need for music, you provide another level to experience your work. And so like a whole sense sort of thing, especially if you get the physical copy. So you're touching it, you're seeing it, you're hearing it. I mean, you're not eating it, but you got 3 out of the 5. So we're here.
It's coming. It's coming. The Shadow's Daughter brownies are on their way. It's just how do I post them in a COVID kind of environment? It doesn't exactly. The other thing is right now, again, because I've got the music background. So I'm at the end of this week, which will be my Friday, your Thursday. I'm announcing a winner of the Win Your Own Theme Tune competition. So essentially, any backers on the that have backed that are interested, I'm going to write them their own theme song, any genre, any sort of style. I'm not going to sing because no one wants that. But, a backing track sort of thing.
I would pay for that.
Most people do.
I would sing too. I would join you in it. That's it. There we go.
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone wants their own theme song. It's always fun when it's like, this song by this artist represents me, and you're coming around like, well, I can just make you your song, and you can just be like, this is you. And how does so? And so I know it's different from your work, but how would that go? So do you have like a consultation? Do you kind of go based off what the person is feeling, what they like, and then try to kind of create something that fits them based off what you've learned in that like discovery call with them?
So the way it usually works is I'll say, send me a few reference tracks on YouTube or wherever, songs that are similar to the kind of vibe you want. It really depends on if they're just your average Joe and this is just fun and awesome and I just want something that's out there or weird, or if they're another comic creator or a creator of some sort and they've got a project in mind where they're thinking, hang on, I can get a theme song done for this project for nothing. So if that's the case, then it's similar discussion, but it's more around what's the thing you're trying to, sort of project or sell or whatever the case is. So I don't know yet because it's random who's going to get picked. So it could be either of those two. But yeah, then just a few conversations. I'll put a rough draft together, send it through. And then depending on how much weirdness they want in there, I'll ramp up the weirdness or ramp it down if they want something, fun.
More weird, all the weird. Bring it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that this though, but you have an impressive resume of comics under your belt. He said
Thanks, man.
you spent 10 years. I mean, I'm just going to name them all. For the names, you have the Script Rebellion, Whiplash, Idle Thuggery, The Blood Below, Enmity, and Shadow's Daughter, which has a few spin-offs to it, which I was like, wow, this is really dope. So I just want to ask the question. So can we dub this the Quaid verse? And are any of these interconnected in a bigger universe?
Oh, so by all means, call it. I hadn't even thought of this. Fantastic.
You're welcome.
Yes,
The first
absolutely.
one's free.
I'm going to get t-shirts made. Yeah, so some of them are connected. They're connected for two reasons. So there's one sort of epic story in the Rust Chronicles universe that's sort of slowly coming out as time progresses. Shadow's Daughter is kind of its own universe as well, and there's 6 issues in this campaign. There's another 3 that are almost finished that will be released after. There's a free PDF spin-off issue that's going to be added to this once we get another 5 backers. So there's a lot. There's a whole lot of Shadow's Daughter. There's 2 ways that all of my stuff is linked. One is that I'm terrible with coming up with names. So if I find a name I like, it turns up everywhere. So they all end up being the same kind of names. And then there's a few where there's no direct crossovers yet. But I've already been asked by a few people, could you do a crossover of this? Particularly Enmity is another one that I've done that has a sort of strong female lead in a post-apocalyptic world. So the question was asked, well, could Shadow's Daughter and Enmity kind of? And the bottom line is, dude, if the money's there, anything is possible. I'll go where the money goes. Forget creative, integrity or any of that. Throw enough money at the problem, I'll solve it for you. So we'll see, but yeah. Well, that's a great cover, that one.
I'm loving the covers. Like so tell us, how did you get to meet your team of artists and creators on this? Because you're also the letterer for the book, but how did you get to meet the different artists? How did you form the teams? Like, how did you guys form your Voltron unit?
Yeah, so as I said early on, I just made I love that cover too. I made all of the mistakes you could possibly make, but I just went out and found artists, and I had no idea there was a comic scene in Australia. So again, I did the dumb thing. I didn't go locally and try and find people and connect with them. That's only the last few years I've started to realize, there's actually really cool artists here and creatives and all the rest of it. So I just went out and found people and just started making this stuff. So over the years in this project, I think there's probably 8 different artists that are involved. So there's 4 artists on the main book series, and then there's cover artists that I've had from time to time, and a colorist and a few other people involved. And it's more or less, if you find an artist that you work well with and you can afford, and they're reliable and all that sort of stuff, you just stick with them as long as you can. What I've found though is, particularly with indie artists, it's so much investment, so that they'll start off at a certain price point per page, and then as time goes on, they'll get better and they'll charge more and they'll get better, and then eventually they'll get picked up by a major studio or something, and then they're gone. You just can't use them anymore. So it's kind of like you work with the team you've got while you can. You invest what you can in them. You help them out. You always make sure you pay everything on time and you upfront and all that sort of stuff, knowing that eventually most people are going to have to move on, but that's okay. Like, you're kind of a team. But there's a couple of artists on this that I've worked with for 5-6 years, and will keep working with them for as long as I can, because some of the stuff is just amazing. And a few new artists that this is the first project, the black and white spin-off issues that are part of this campaign. That's the first time I've done black and white manga style stuff. So that was working with a couple of artists I've not worked with before, and really getting them to help me understand the genre a bit more. And you tell me how this should look, and let's just work with that, because I don't know.
The manga style looks so good.
Yeah.
It's so funny enough, I was actually reading some manga like last night, and so I'm like very fully fresh of the comic style, and like even noticing it. I know you wrote it in your Kickstarter, but just seeing it, like the research was there, the love and the tension is there. Like clearly the artist you're working with for the manga style like knows what they're doing, and you see it, the facial expressions, the actions pieces, it's all there. It's fucking gorgeous.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, I'm always amazed because you send off a script or a rough storyboard with, crappy stickmen figures, and then they send something back, and it's really hard because most of the time my reaction is, "Oh man, that's so cool. Why can't I do that?" So it's they're always surprising in the angles that they use or the direction that they take it. It's never quite the same as what they send them. But I don't mind that. I love that idea of that's why you work with an artist, because this is what they do. And I can only think of 3 or 4 angles. So once I'm done with them, it's like, well, do we do the same angles again or do something? Whereas they'll come up with a completely different perspective, which is amazing. So yeah, it's been great fun working on this one.
Yeah. So to that point so I'm looking at, like, if you scroll all the way down in your Kickstarter, you get to the how we made it. So are you doing those rough storyboard drafts? That's you, like, just sketching it out for them?
Yeah, that's me. So most of them are sketching it out. Some of them are script only, but it took a few issues for them to get into the feel of the characters and how I work and that sort of thing. So initially I found manga artists, they prefer a storyboard, or not a storyboard, but like a sketch view.
Yeah.
Whereas traditional artists or American style artists, they're fine with just a script. So yeah, that's kind of what I had to go through. So that version there, the middle one in the storyboards, that's the crappy version that I give them, and then they send back the good version.
This reminds me. So as you were getting into the whole manga stuff, like, I saw this, and knowing that you are the writer and you're creating this sketch, it immediately I go to One Punch Man and the creator of One Punch Man, because that's essentially what happens. He does like the webcomic, and it's awful. It's awful sketching. Like, he knows what it is, and then he gives this, like, his fantastic manga writer just blows it up out of proportion into, like, what it is. And I kind of get the same vibes here of you doing that and sending it off to your artist, and then them just doing their talent, and you seeing what happens at the end when you get to the colors and tones. So it's dope.
It's so cool. And it also means I don't have to have everything written perfectly, because I know when it comes back I'm going to change some of the words and dialogue and everything to fit the image, that's great.
Yeah.
So doing that and seeing what the artist is like, I take it, yes, you're seeing the words you've written down on the page, the script. Now you're seeing this, like, now turned into images. So I want to get more of your thoughts on that. When you get those finished pages back, and also too, what was the inspiration behind Shadow's Daughter? How did you come up with the story for this, and the building of this world?
Yeah, so it came from a novel initially, and one of the most mundane reasons why you would write a novel. So I'd always said that this was about 15 years ago. So you can imagine the kind of time and what the world was like back then. And I'd always said, I'm never going to write anything with vampires or werewolves or any of that junk. It's been played out. I don't care. I don't want to see vampires in love. There's too much of it. It's all been done. So I'm not going to do it. Then I start thinking, come on, man, you want to be a writer. This is what you want to do for a living. You need to stretch yourself. So stupidly, I thought, all right, I'm going to force myself to write the genre I don't want to write. It's going to be urban fantasy, paranormal, with vampires and werewolves and all that junk. And so I just started writing. And then as I'm writing, I'm realizing this is really cool. There's some really cool stuff here. And I love the characters immediately. And, there's slight differences. So vampires in this world aren't shiny and beautiful. They're a little bit more savage. Most of them die before they get to be a certain age where they can survive and everything. The werewolves are called Vorgan because it's different. So there you go. It's not werewolves. I'm cool. And then there's all these kind of loosely they're called mancers or sorcerers, that sort of thing, who can bend different substances or use magic, all that sort of stuff. But at the center of this is this character Summer, who is the born at the time that a demon moon rises in the world. And as that moon rises, everything changes. There are earthquakes, tsunamis, everything goes wrong. And a certain portion of society, innate traits start to sort of come out of them. So that's where your full-blooded vampires come out, and Vorgan and Hellions, which are kind of like fire people, and Mancers. And she comes out as a Shadow Mancer, which are the rarest of the rare. And her ability is that she can obviously manipulate shadow as a physical force and all that sort of stuff. And she essentially works as a bounty hunter for the Bureau, which is like your FBI, but, mainly focused on what are called remade individuals, which are these people that have kind of been twisted and warped by this sort of thing. But she's so rare that the only other Shadowmancer in living memory is a mass murderer that lived 10 years earlier. So killed a lot of people, notorious. So the memory that people have in this culture is, you know, if they see someone bending shadow, they're freaked out immediately because there's this reference to this serial killer guy from previously. So essentially, that's where the idea came from. And then on a smaller level, I love the idea of something unexpected and someone who is like a young, small, relatively frail, but has this atomic power in them that is just out of control, powerful. And then I love the idea of what happens when you strip that away from her and what does she do? And, you know, she really shows her mettle. It's that sort of story. So yeah, that's where it came from.
Listen, I right now I'm going to let everyone know who is watching, who is listening, or who watches this on the on-demand. Make sure you go subscribe and get that Kickstarter. Put some more money towards this man's Kickstarter and get this added to your library. Because again, vampires, werewolves is in there. The Shadowmancer. Do
you play D&D? Because this feels like a D&D campaign. Like,
I never played when I was younger because
we have to get you in the game.
Demons and I came from a very religious family. I wasn't allowed to. But now, man, I watch that stuff online. I love it. I wish I could have my own, you know, I would love to be the guild master or, you know.
Oh, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. We got you. We got you.
I mean, you know a few guys who
if you want people to play in your game, just let us know.
Well, yeah, we're always down to toss a few character sheets up, you know.
But again, guys, make sure you're checking out the link in the description. Make sure you check out for again, Shadow's Daughter. Support it, get it out there. And again, share it with your friends and all that out there. We're gonna bring Morgan back at the end for more of the plug on that. Morgan, thank you for sharing this with us because now you're gonna join us with the Book of Boba. Now we're gonna now go into that. But first, I mean, you know, it's the season finale. You got some people who've been fuming to come on the show, patiently waiting,
very patient,
and because it was a great season finale. I mean, you know, but first up, so
the last 2 episodes, you know, really packed it all in.
Yes. So we'll reintroduce him again.
The last 3.
We'll reintroduce him again. So below me, if you guys are seeing, is Mogan Quad, the creator of Shadow's Daughter. Again, awesome Kickstarter that you guys have to go check out and you have to go subscribe. The link is in the description. I'm going to keep plugging it away because you know what? That's it. That's the commercial. Next on the list that we're bringing up and who's been waiting in the green room. He's been on the show before. We've helped him with his Kickstarter as well, Pitter Patter, as well as other Kickstarters. And he's done great stuff with Hasm Productions. Him and his wife Tina are always awesome. He's also was a great table neighbor. I met him at Rhode Island Comic-Con. We've been friends ever since. I want to give it up for the one, the only Rodney Fyke.
What's up?
Hello and welcome back, sir.
What is up?
Oh wait, I forgot too. You can catch Roadkill Rampage. That was what I was looking for. I was thinking Roadkill something. I was like, Roadkill. I wasn't going to tell him.
I saw you looking for it. You were like,
I was like, wait, what is it?
I wasn't going to tell him, but I saw it earlier. I was like,
there we go.
So now, yeah, guys, don't forget too. Rodney does Thursday Night Throwdown, so make sure you check that out as well. Where Rodney is throwing down some pencils, inks, and drawing, and just talking it out with other creators. Rodney, who's always there with you? Come on, give it up.
We got Sean Forney. We do a Thursday night throwdown and a Friday night draw, 8:00 Eastern. Thursday nights we're on all of my social platforms. Friday nights we're on all of Sean Forney's social platforms. And we work on commissions or whatever. Sometimes we do sketch offs. We haven't done those in a while. And we just talk all things nerdy from 8 till about 9:30. So come on, hang out, shoot the shit, and get silly with us.
Nerds might be
fan casting. We started last week fan casting a Predator remake starring Alan Richter from Reacher, and we were trying to fill in the cast. So
okay, cool.
All, you know, younger guys, no old guys. You know, so
no Stallone.
Yeah,
Next-
we had fun with that. That gave us 2 shows of content, so that was great.
That's a good show. That's
Yes,
definitely a good show.
We're
So
gonna
wait,
have to-
before we bring the next person. So Rodney, I think your beard's gotten longer since we last saw you. So you gonna braid that thing, go full Viking or something?
Let's do it.
We'll see. My mom hates it, but the wife loves it. So hey, that's the most.
There you
important
go.
part.
I was just gonna ask. Does the wife love it?
But I trimmed it because it was just getting out of hand. It was getting too bushy. So I'm kind of going with the Spartan.
There you go. Yeah.
Bring it down to a point.
But like Morgan pointed out earlier, it's the beard club on here, but the next person that's coming on is going to kind of break that trend right now because he has the baby face of the group. You can catch him on Comics Cast, always throwing it down with his pencils with other artists while he's interviewing as well on Sundays and Let It Out. I want to give it up for the returning, the one, the only, awesome Jerel Motos.
Welcome
You
back.
are muted.
You're muted. Came in muted.
Oh, I was like, man, sorry about that. You think I would know what to do about muting and unmuting during all the Let It Out shows. But yeah, I'm happy to be back here with the nerds.
Yes.
Yeah, my partners in crime.
Let's go.
Yeah, so happy to be here. Talk some boba. So.
There we
Yes,
go.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
man.
Patented
The
last
perfect-
episode show for you.
That's
Always,
right.
always.
That's right. I'm here for the finale. You can call me the finale. So
There we go.
I
The
like
finale.
it. I like it.
so,
Next on the list, because yes, this is a deluxe episode, so he has
The
been in the
Deluxe
comics.
international episode.
International
We have to
episode, that's
keep
it.
saying that.
We're I will say, deluxe international episode brought to you by nerds. Yes, I'm gonna nickname him the director of chaos. He is the doc. He was again, he was also, you got to see him on Comics Cast, throw it down with giving with Jerel and everything, talking with different artists and all that. Rick is always there supporting the indie community and all that, and always throwing his support out there and always chiming in on the comics. That's what I'm saying. Again, he's here to bring in the chaos, the DOC himself, Ric Burlow. Rick.
Hello, sir.
See?
Welcome to the show.
Hello.
This background you have of Sebastian, man.
Yeah, this background is amazing.
I
Please
couldn't
send
find
it to us.
I couldn't find pictures of you and Tone Law, so
It's
it had to
okay.
be Sebastian.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's okay. You can double.
Jerel has been victims of many of my backgrounds as well, so he knows what to expect.
Oh man, we need to put Rick and Charlie into a room together and just let them go wild.
There we go.
I'm
That's it.
happy
That's
happy to be here. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Sebastian have been holding me off for a time because he's been too scared to have me, I think.
So what time is it where you're at right now?
It is exactly 3:30 a.m. here in Denmark.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Morgan,
man.
what time is it for you?
About 12:30 in the afternoon.
Oh,
This
okay.
is fine.
That's
This is fine for me. I'm okay.
You're having coffee. You're here just chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any sleep. I don't have a sleep schedule, so this is fine for me as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, you're always hanging out with us, and you're like, "All right, I'm gonna go to bed," and then 5 minutes later, you start
Well,
commenting.
that's because you keep pushing my nerd gene tone.
we keep the conversation good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get, but first, before we do that, we will give the
It's
Yes.
time, sir.
Jeez, I get full screen now. Man, we've upgraded on the tone spoiler warning bit. All right, here we go. All right, so we got the finale of I'm about to say the Mandalorian. Might as well been the fucking Mandalorian. Book of Boba, episode chapter 7. In the name of honor, things happened, emotions came together, and the show finally, after 4 episodes of like, where the fuck are we going? We got there. But I gotta say, the one thing I wanted from the show was to see a fucking Rancor, and we got it. We got it. We fucking got it, man. We got a King Kong thing going on with the Rancor, rampage happening, and I was here for it. We got the knee missiles from Boba Fett. I kept bringing those back after we kept talking about the show. Where is Boba Fett? Where is the Boba Fett that I saw in Mandalorian season 2? Busting ass with his knee missiles, his blasters. We got it, guys. I'm here for it. Let's talk about chapter
Tone,
7.
who died?
Aunt May died. Aunt May died, guys. Aunt May.
well, since we're talking Star Wars, I mean,
I
piggies
was
fly.
gonna
in this
say
episode.
you could have dropped the Star Wars one. There was
No,
like 2
no.
people.
So many people. You know who died? I'll tell you who died. Luke's ambition died because his first.
No! Oh, I was about to say that the legendary Star Wars fandom died, but
Oh wow! Shots fired.
That's savagery. So, Rick, it's just your first time too on the show, so we're gonna start with you because you've been chiming around in the comments. Just give us what your thoughts of Book of Boba this whole season. Just take it away. We're gonna open the chaos door with you. Right
how's the ratings on the chat? What word can I use? Any word? Because
okay,
Go for it. Let it fly.
You can use
to sum it up,
5% of curse words.
To sum it up, I'll basically just call this whole season a clusterfuck, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way, but it's a clusterfuck of confusion and emotions. They tried too much with too little, and they messed up in a lot of places where they shouldn't have, at least for the fans, and tried too hard to make it Disney lore rather than Star Wars lore, and they failed a lot of fans, in my opinion.
It's I totally agree. I know some people were saying they were lost in the beginning and it had that slow burn. It had its elements to it too. It's not the best of the Star Wars shows because Mando's still holding it on his back,
I mean,
like you keep saying.
But holding anything post Jedi on his back.
I mean, the best two episodes of the show was where Mando was mostly in it, and that kind of says it all. I mean, in my opinion, they completely broke Boba Fett in making him too. I want peace and I want respect. Yeah, but you don't have to be a pussy about it. You can get respect without being a pushover, right? And I feel he became a bit too much of a pushover.
Yeah,
except for the final fight with Cat Bane, he finally showed it, and I'm like, yes, like in the fucking final episode, you decide to show it, but you've been a fucking pushy the whole season over, and everybody has been like, no, and we finally do it in the last freaking episode. It's too late now, Boba.
We'll make that too late now.
No, to be honest, it might sound like I disliked the show. I liked it, but they tried too much and they failed too much.
There were things that they did that were weak and everything. Morgan, we're gonna look up with you now. How did you feel about this series, Book of Boba?
Yeah, man, I think it comes down to the helmet. Like the problem I had immediately when you see Boba Fett. Sorry, I'm going to say Boba Fett because that's Australian instead of Boba Fett. So I apologize if I lapse into Boba Fett.
Don't worry. I used to say Boba Fett, so
Boba Fett. So yeah, the problem, the great thing about Mando was for so much of the season you don't see the face. You just see the mask. They've got the whole creed around. You don't lift it off, all that sort of stuff, which just adds this menace to the character and this sense of authority and and mystery and all that. As soon as that's off, the mystery is kind of gone. And I felt like with Boba Fett, it was off very early. And for most of the, it didn't seem to have that same, I need to have the helmet on. It was more like I want to show my face. And for me, that kind of loses it. I need the mystery. I need the kind of, because that was when you're a kid. The coolest thing about this dude is, you never see his face, never. And you don't even want to see his face. It's just this amazing thing. Hey, there's someone I know.
George.
So, yeah. So anyway, that's what I thought. I just thought that it's very hard. As soon as you take that away, it's done. And then it's very hard to sort of bring back that mystique and that sort of stuff. And I don't know that they did. There was some great stuff in there. And I loved generally, but again, the same thing. I loved it when the Mandalorian came back in, and it just sort of made you feel a bit like, oh, okay, all right, they're gonna do. It's okay, everything's okay. It's gonna be okay.
It was
Pedro's here. He can big spoon you into comfort with what he's gonna do for Star Wars. That's essentially what Oberyn Martell does. He just big spoons you and speaks to you. It makes you feel better until he gets his skull crushed in. It's all good.
That's why he has a helmet now.
That's why he has a helmet. That's why he has a fucking helmet now. You're absolutely right. And he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink before a fight. He wears a helmet. He's got heavy armor. He learned his lesson. He learned his lesson.
Rodney.
But to your point, Morgan, yeah, I agree. The thing about Boba, like Boba's in, I think it's like 14 14 to 18 minutes he's in for Empire and Return of the Jedi, and like everything about Boba Fett, you know, we don't count the Christmas special, right? But everything about Boba Fett was that, like, who is he? Who is this guy? Like that's this badass, and you just create this lore in your head. And obviously Legends, he's got his pieces in Legends, and you find out all the other stuff, and Disney buys it and retcons Legends, and so they just kind of take what they have and make their own mythology of it. But to folks who've been around, who've read Legends or really, you know, really hold the original trilogy as like their Star Wars, you see this character that you love because of the mystery, and they are just giving you who he is, and like this is who he's gonna be, whether you like it or not. And I was kind of I'm okay with it because like Boba Fett, I wasn't the type of person who was like on Boba Fett. I was always like I was a Darth Vader guy. Like that was it, Darth Vader all the way. So Boba Fett, I was like, fucking guy gets kicked and gets his ass kicked into the Sarlacc pit. I'm like, I don't get the hype, but I get that sentiment from folks who were really into him, and that Disney didn't give us that. Like we got in Mandalorian season 2, while he didn't have his mask on, he was that badass. Like he didn't have his mask on, but he was the badass Boba Fett when he showed up. And we were like, all right, cool. We're going to get this in a mafia style crime sort of series.
Yep.
And then we didn't get it. We got he was a fucking pacifist, essentially. And there's nothing wrong with being a pacifist, but you're a Mandalorian.
Not if you're Boba Fett.
You're in a universe that end universal mythology that end with wars. You shouldn't be a pushover then. And I mean, as you said, he came off in Mandalorian, still keeping that hardness, the toughness that everybody knows and loves from him. And lore-wise and timeline-wise, is like a few days from that to the Boba Fett show, and he just turns it around, and I'm like, what the heck? You need some bathroom milk or something, Boba. You're not well. You need to lie down.
Rodney, you're up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go hop in the Wayback Machine and go back to May of '83 and say the way Boba Fett went out in Return of the Jedi was weak as hell.
Yep.
And as a 12-year-old kid going, what the hell? And, you know, fast forward, 100 years later, and we get the same thing. Disney defanged him. They give us the old tired Boba Fett who's only interested in peace, and that's not what anybody wanted or expected. They took the formula that made Boba Fett work. They took the formula that's made Wolverine work. That the formula of mystery, and you don't know anything about these characters. That's what made them interesting. When they started revealing who Wolverine was, he lost his appeal. The shine wore off the apple. They did the same thing with Boba Fett, but they declawed him at the same time. And it's just like, what the hell? I mean, the last two, the fifth episode that Dallas directed was the best in my opinion. I thought the finale was okay. It was very predictable. And it's like Favreau was trying to stick everything into that episode, and it was just a clusterfuck of events that was just okay. Well, I knew the Rancor was going to do the King Kong before when he was on. As soon as he got on the roof, because they showed that tower at the beginning.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of a foreshadowing. So as soon as he hopped up on those roofs, I was like, "Oh, here we go with King Kong." And I was just waiting for TIE fighters to come in and start shooting at him. And having said all that, I liked it. I like my man Grogu coming in, at the end and then calming him down. And then now he's got a napping buddy with him. So he got some snugs in. He's taking a nap at the Rancor. But the whole idea of Boba Fett riding a Rancor is fucking stupid to me. Some people think it's badass. I don't know.
He rode that whatever the fuck in the Christmas special.
That's the Christmas special.
So that line is like, I've ridden bigger beasts than this.
Like, I can't decide if I like what they did with the Rancor, bringing him out of the pit. I don't know. I still chew on that because he as well had this aura of mystery about him. You know, who is he? Where does he come from? Now I haven't read any of the legends or any of that stuff, so I don't know any of that information. Yeah, I know. Write and draw comics. I haven't got time to read them. But I mean, it was enjoyable, but overall, it was disappointing, save for episode 5. That felt like Star Wars.
Yeah.
This felt like Disney Wars.
Yeah. I got my opinions on that.
It just felt like, you know, and we can talk about it later. It just felt like they used Mandalorian. They used Din as just like Din and Grogu, because that's it. Like you bring both of them in, and it's like, oh, we're gonna save the show. Like I don't know if maybe they thought like this is kind of weak sauce. We need something. It's like, well, let's just bring in Pedro. Pedro saved the day, and then do a whole storyline, which I thought was weak. And that if you feel like your main character can't hold up the show, the title card character, because you should have just called the Mandalorian season 3 then.
Right.
Just let us know. Has Boba. A little bit of Mando.
To be fair, this was season 2.5.
It was season 2.
This was the in between little snack that we get until we get like the main course of.
Until we get the quest to retake Mandalore.
Yeah.
Like,
another thing that bothered me too with the whole situation with the Tusken Raiders. I get that they were peeling back the layers of the onion, you know, and they were developing his character, but. You know, in my mind, my 12-year-old mind, Boba Fett's this badass, and it's just like he gave up so quickly. He put up a fight one time, and then all the fight was taken out of him. Now I understand he was in the desert, and he was dehydrated, and it was more about survival. But
he was eaten by a Sarlacc.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go, Jerel. You are up.
Walk it off.
Come on, Jerel. I know you've been. Yes, you have.
I'm gonna have to agree with the panel here, but I'm gonna go one step further. I'm just gonna say it sucked. I'm just gonna say
oh damn!
It just blew. I'm gonna say it was like, what is it? The intergalactic man of mystery, Boba Fett, was now Boba T. He was all like just chunky and where was he at? I mean, like we saw him in The Mandalorian. He was a total badass, and then all of a sudden he reverted to sleeping in the bacta tank the whole time. And it was like the whole sand people thing. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to like make it like he's like this journeyman. He's like going on this journey and he's going to turn over this new leaf. But yeah, it was like Dances with Wolves. It's like I was waiting for the buffalo and the Tonka to show up or something like that. But it was Bantha Poodoo, I guess that's what it was. But you know, I have to say there were some bright spots, but yeah, the whole thing about what Morgan said about the mask thing. What was his deal? It's like, was he just getting sunburned? I mean, like getting like the air conditioning wasn't working in his mask, and he was taking off his mask like left and right, and just it's like. He's walking around Mos Espa with like no one's gonna like snipe him or take him out. I mean, it just seemed like this is not the Boba Fett that we were hoping for. And I didn't watch any of your other episodes regarding the earlier episodes, so I don't know how much. I had to like resist. I said, I want to click on it, but I want to save it all for this finale. But it was just, there was a lot of hodgepodge. It looks like it was a schizophrenic director episode. But there was like art direction from left and right. I mean, it was just
exactly.
It didn't feel like a cohesive. It didn't feel like it was in the Star Wars universe. I mean, that whole the modders. I mean,
the greasers, the space greasers.
Yeah, the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger bikes. I don't know with the.
Wow.
I didn't care for it. I didn't care for those damn bikes.
I mean, it was like I was like watching. I was like, oh my gosh, where is it coming from?
What the fuck is this?
I mean, I'll be honest. Those bikes did not look like they had any speed to them. Just how slow they were.
Look, you gotta think about it too. Like I get like where they're, I think we were talking about it before, and like bringing home this color palette in, and it's very much like this is the younger generation. Like I get that. Like on paper, you say that, I get it, right? But Mos Espa is so dull in color.
Yes.
Dull.
Why would you put
Where are those pigments? Where are you getting them? And what are you doing to pay for them, because everyone who has money and power,
You don't want to know what they do. You don't want to know.
Is not riding around in anything that's shiny. Like, I like the modders and like the whole aspect of like, you know, combining with droids. I'm cool. Like, I think that's a natural progression and stuff.
Another planet. Another planet. It would work on another planet.
On Coruscant, yeah.
Yeah.
But the colors, the bikes, I was like, nah, bro. I'm not here for that shit. I
But
thought it was
but to what the Jerel spoke of with how schizophrenic these shows looks, if you look when you go back and see when it switches between the Tusken Raider story and then the Precinct show, when it jumps that, you can see the difference there. Like the Tusken Raider show just appears to be that much better done and written than the present day stuff.
Dances
and
with
they
wolves.
make it so obvious that it just makes like, what the fuck's going on here? Did the director get tired of writing and then handed over the script to his niece or something and said, "You finish this present day shit, I'll focus on the Tusken Raider stuff"?
So I want to ask you guys then this and whoever wants to take this can take this to answer this one. Do you think that this would have worked if it was Mandalorian season 3, or if it would have worked to call it a different Star Wars show's name instead of Book of Boba?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they should have separated the two.
I think they should call it Tales of Tatooine.
I think they should have leaned into what they were trying to do in the beginning of this whole series, and like once they brought in Din and once they brought in like the Mando and Grogu like bit, it was like no one cared about Boba, and like you guys heard me in the beginning. I was all for like this growth and progression of Boba. I was like, all right, let's see the old retired man be like, I'm not gonna take no shit, whatever the case is. Let's see the growth. And then we just got Mando for like 3 episodes that I'm just like, now I don't care about Boba.
Yeah. Like Mando saved the day, man.
But hear what he said at the end of the episode to Fennec. He essentially said like, I don't know why I got myself into this. Like I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, whatever the case is. And it's just like, bro, you've been working so hard for this for all season, and you feel like it feels like you don't care. What the fuck? Why do I care now? Like, why do I give a shit?
Okay, let me give you all a reason to care. This is if Jerel was writing Boba Fett. This is what should have happened at the finale. All right. And if you watch Friday Freestyle, I kind of let the cat out of the bag. This is what I think should have happened. All right. And I think, Rodney, your 12-year-old self will rejoice with me. You'll be singing praises when I tell you what they should have done. Okay, remember that episode where it had Fennec talking to Boba, and they're like saying, "So how much money do we got?" And he's like saying, "I got tons of money. I got credits coming out of my ears. It's like I got so much money." Blah blah blah. And he's a crime lord, right? Okay, he can still be a pacifist. But then he says, we need an army. We need foot soldiers, right? You know what would have been cool? While we were doing the Mandalorian, 2 episodes, stuff like that, they have Boba go off planet. He comes back, and he goes, yeah, I put the call out. And it's not going to be that weak Last Jedi crap where they put the call out and nobody comes. He goes out there, he puts his money out there, and he hires the Executor 6. The Executor 6. He gets Bosk, he gets Forlom, he gets Zuckuss, and he gets all of them, IG-88, and they come down. So when they get all pinned, they hate Boba Fett, but they're willing to back him up. You got the money. You got the perfect tie. That's the crime lord right there. He can be all kingpin. He's like, I don't get my hands dirty. I'm gonna get the bounty hunters from the Executor 6 to come in there and roll everybody. And you can still have, and then he can come in on the Rancor. He can do all that stuff. I'll even forgive the whole King Kong thing. But if he had done that, and we did that, that would have been the perfect tie to Empire Strikes Back. Yep. It would bridge the gap, and it'd be like you could, Cad Bane was cool, but we got bounty hunters that existed back in '83. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah. That would have been a cool episode. That would have been a surprise, and that would have been something that the fans would have gone ballistic. They would have been more over the top than seeing Skywalker.
All right, high five. Virtual high five.
High five.
Don't hit the camera.
I gotta say that is fucking.
Is that tight?
That is.
I mean, just think about how nuts everybody would go if Dengar and Boss.
I'm going nuts right now thinking about it.
because then they're all going to be like, "When's that series coming out?"
Yes.
Yeah.
They could do the Scum and Villainy miniseries.
Oh, that'd be great.
hear that?
To
Scum
go
and
on
Villainy.
to Rick's comment about the Ewoks, bring a badass Ewok with them.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Ewok bounty hunter. Yeah.
Did you see the Ewoks in that expansion for the Battlefront? Ewoks were freaking vicious.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ewoks are not people to fuck with. I
would take Ewoks over the bikers.
I mean, you see Grogu bouncing around like a chimpanzee. Imagine, something that actually jumps from tree to tree. That kind of strength as a bounty hunter. Come on now. As little as they are, hiding in little spaces.
I've said it so many times. Ewoks are crazy motherfuckers. You should don't just look at them as being. They're not sweet and kind. They'll they'll break your ass.
We're gonna say this. So Jawas come from the Bronx. Ewoks come from Brooklyn.
Absolutely. They have black Air Force energy all day.
Yeah,
so
that's funny.
the next character I want to get into, so I want to just talk about some of the characters because I think this episode outside of Boba showcased some characters in really great light. The character I definitely want to touch up on is how Fennec is an MVP pretty much, and Fennec is a badass because she's pretty much. So Morgan, I want to lead with you with this one with your thoughts on Fennec this whole season and coming up all the way to the end with her doing all this wet work.
Listen, I like Fennec, but my problem is the actress Ming-Na Wen. All respect to her, but it just seems like as of late her roles have been the same no matter where she is. Like whether it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or here's Fennec Chan. There's really no personality differences. She's like this cold, kinda emotional, slight emotional female. There's nothing. That's
Mulan.
They just put her Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. character into fucking Star Wars and said, "Hey, this is a new character. This is Fennec Chan, right?" And that annoyed me because I like Ming-Na Wen, and I know she can act. She's proven that before. So I was like, come on now, like.
That's not her though. That's like legit that's the writing.
Yeah.
It's like you can still like. I think it felt very much that she was very much a backseat character here. She was supposed to be Boba's consigliere, and it just felt like she was like he just kind of spoke to her and she gave some ideas here, but it didn't even though they are one-on-one, they are one-to-one, like he even says it and based off the story it just didn't feel like it. It just didn't feel, like she was there, or maybe even doing stuff behind his back just for the greater good because she saw the writing on the wall, because she's been in this world not a lot longer, but a lot more in the present time because he was in the Sarlacc pit and he was with the Sand People. So I getting just a little bit more about her and what her connections were. Like, come on, like she like Mando couldn't be the only call she could have made.
Yeah.
And
it was her. She saw Cad Bane, and there was a perfect opportunity for a little bit of a one-liner to tie back to.
Yeah, Bad Batch.
Bad Batch, and there it was like, oh, it's like Cad Bane.
I think that's what Law. Yeah, that's what Law mentioned too.
Yeah, they just could have had at least one little line that would have tied that back together. And I have to say kudos to Cad Bane. He came off the way they did the live version or the CG live version. It was just, he looked bad. In fact, I thought it was Peter Weller that was voicing him, but it wasn't. He had that kind of like that creepy RoboCop voice, thing going on.
But, yeah, look, I thought Peter Weller as well for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's the same. I think it's the same voice actor.
It is
in all the iterations of him.
Yeah, and he was great.
I didn't like his fingers though. They look like too Muppety for some reason. His fingers.
I couldn't get past his fingers. I was looking at his teeth. Did you see those teeth? That was like
perfect.
Sharp teeth.
It was overall well done, but his hands and fingers were just too puppety for me. Like looked off.
So we definitely. So Morgan, want to get your thoughts on Fennec and Cad Bane since we got him in this mix now.
Okay, so I agree. I loved her. I thought she was I'll say I loved her. I thought she was great, but I think it weakens her character with Boba being so weak. Like there's a perfect opportunity to have her as the offsider that does the wet work, and him knowing what she's capable of and just using her to kill all the enemies, do all the stuff in the dirt. And she should have her own crew. She shouldn't just be running herself. She should have a group that, you know, spies everything, whatever's out there in Tatooine, doing the dirty work to keep him. If he wants to set himself up as the kingpin, he's behind the desk. He's pulling the strings. He's not getting involved, but he damn sure knows what's going on. And I felt like, yeah, her strings were kind of cut because of the just the weakness of his character. He just, you know, she could do so much more. And I suppose that maybe that's, again, part of the whole Disney thing that, you know, there's only a limit to how much blood you can show and how gory you can get and all that sort of stuff. But you could show a hell of a lot of menace from her and not show, you know, the actual deeds happening. But no, okay, she's come from somewhere pretty dark and wet, and that's where she lives, and she's happy to do that stuff. Yeah, so I thought they kind of missed a bit of an opportunity. But I liked it. When you actually saw her in action, I thought she was really good. When you saw Boba Fett in action, most of the time I thought, is that it? Is that
is that all he can do?
Yeah, is that?
But the fact is, yes, that is all he can do, and we loved it when we were kids.
But what made it worse was he seemed the better fighter in his like episode appearance for Mando.
That's my thing.
Like
He
seemed
showed
like
the fuck up.
yeah. And then here it was just like, bro, like you was washing people with no with no effort with your staff. Like you were just and then
It's like,
now
where was that staff earlier?
that staff was like almost nowhere the entire season. And you're like, oh,
Like, you had the
I made a
yuppie
big
stick
to
and all.
do with the staff to make the staff and and like make it special and important, and then it wasn't. What?
Yeah.
I think that's why I like the most like because I was like I'll defend the show until you guys give me a reason not to. And this episode like felt like why? Also, like to Jerel's point and what I was saying last week, like they should have had Fennec go up against Cad Bane. Like it would have been perfect because of what they did with Bad Batch. Like they like
absolutely.
Granted, I heard, you know, or I know very little about like Boba and Cad having like whatever history they have, but like Cad and Fennec literally were about to like kill each other over a kid.
Yeah,
like,
you're so right.
I mean, they have the strongest relationship in recent memory, so they should have they should have booked and focused on that for sure.
Yeah, because the only relationship between Boba and Cad was the unpublished episode, the unfinished episode, which talks about that dent that he gets in his helmet. So that's like even like not that could be canon. I don't know. Maybe they'll go back and revisit it because you know what? I think they set it up for Cad to return. Everybody looked at that little chest piece that he had. It was still blinking. So he got stabbed, but he was already like artificially breathing. So he's like freaking Darth Vader. He'll come back to life.
He's not dead. He's not dead.
He's totally not dead.
He'll come back and see you guys. Peace. I see it now. Because that's what Disney does to every badass motherfucker in the Star Wars universe.
So we're gonna talk about a badass now. I'm gonna let Rodney lead with this one. Rodney, give me your hot take on BK, Black Chrysanthemum.
Oh yeah.
The look of disappointment on Rodney's face is gold right now.
I knew nothing about him. Which is funny because I did that sketch cover of him. only after I was done with the sketch cover did I open the book and look inside and go, okay. And I skimmed through it and I was like, okay, I got it right. But sometimes I'm just so dense.
Right.
I mean, I liked him. I like the whole pit fighter aspect of his background. I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, I dug him. That was one of the few highlights. I dug what they did with Cad Bane. And I just thought he was cool. I like how he was in a bar and he was just chilling and he was frustrated and all that stuff. So I that was one of my bright spots for the series was him. I really dug it because Chewie was always heralded as such a badass, but we very rarely got to see it. So here's a Wookiee that's a badass, and we got to see it. We got the electrified brass knuckles. I'm all about that. You know, and I just enjoyed him. I thought it was fun. I liked watching him, you know, keep getting shot and getting up and beating the hell out of people and stuff. Hey, you know, I was a bouncer, so I can relate to that kind of shit. So I was rooting for him.
Can we talk about how he had a whole twisted up ankle?
And
then like after like the whole like, you know, the cavalry came and he's running off. And I was like, bro, you were dragging your foot like it was ready to come off 5 seconds ago. Now you are running.
It's about the stuff that didn't make sense. It's like, well, wait, he was dragging his leg before. Now he's running like, you know. Barry Allen. Come on, man. I mean, the editor wasn't doing his job because
continuity.
I also felt he was there to take up the usual Boba place as the silent secret badass bounty hunter that Boba couldn't take himself now because he had to be the lead.
Yeah,
I really personally hope that BK will show up in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series as well, because if anybody read the Star Wars comics, that's the first time we meet him is when Obi-Wan Kenobi fights him, and gives him the big scar on the eye. So I really hope that's why he introduced him. I also loved again from geeking out. If you've seen Clone Wars, you would know that his race and the lizard race. Yeah, I'm tired. I forget names right now. Species, but yeah, they have a history together. So when they had that scene in the bar where he just get more and more angry about them having fun, I looked back at those episodes in Clone Wars. Got reminded. I mentioned this earlier in an early episode as well. That I looked back at it and was like, okay, he knows the history between the two species, and obviously there's still hatred there. So I thought that was where the anger came from, and not just annoyance that they were having fun.
It was definitely that.
Yeah, there was something deeper than just that's too noisy.
I think from what I'm getting for everybody, there's a lot of missed opportunities that they could have done in the show between the Cad Bane and Finnick, more in the Black Chrysanthemum, and it could have been a whole timing and pacing thing, because, like, again, even when George was on, he said it himself, like the show really has a slow burn, and I think they were just trying to set up too much lore for Boba, but rest in peace, guys.
No. Sebastians of the show.
We lost them. We lost them. The only tragedy of the show, and
they were the worst. They're always the worst, but they were really like the worst.
Don't be like that. So my last time I played a Star Wars role-playing game, that was my character. I was one of those guys.
Oh man, did you get pushed off a fucking ledge, dude?
And also every time there was a fight, I was the first one to run in instead of negotiating and just squeal like a pig.
I'm saying we're gonna have to have this whole party back for a D&D party. Get Tommy to host.
Yeah, I'm in with D&D for sure.
But there's a lot with this episode, so I want to give you guys a break because we've been talking for an hour. So we're gonna go through an intermission because I mean the final thing I'm gonna say about this, it had its strong points, but it also had a lot of weaknesses. You can kind of see it where they were Disneyfying it. Book of Boba did have again, the Mandalorian, when he came on, that was just watching an episode of a guy and like someone fixing an old 85 Cadillac or something like that. That's what that episode felt like. And then this battle scene, there were just moments in these battles in the final episode that just didn't look right. Like when the cavalry came for Freetown, they just came in. I was like, oh, the cavalry came in, but it's like no one is spreading out. They're all staying in one spot. No one is spreading out.
And it felt
with all the fire.
It took forever. It was like they were running down. It's like I think the Pike shoot like stormtroopers. They couldn't kill any of the Freetowners. And the Freetowners
move. The ridiculous fucking spin move.
Talk about the spin move. I was hoping we didn't talk about the spin move.
Same.
Call John Woo and say, John Woo, how can you direct this shot? Spin.
No.
That's what it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
But even though he came off as a poor show, I got to say Boba Fett is still my favorite Disney princess.
In one place.
Boba Fett is still my favorite Disney princess.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Oh man, for those who are joining us, make sure you're also going into the description because again, check out Mogan Quaid's link for his Kickstarter, Shadow's Daughter. Go there, so get it out there. Shadow's Daughter. We're gonna go on a quick intermission. We're gonna give everybody on the panel a break. We're gonna jump back in. We still hit up a little bit of Star Wars, some Marvel, and some Peacemaker. You guys ready for a little break right now? Do you guys need it?
Fuck yeah, I need to pee. My bladder is bursting.
Okay, we're gonna keep going.
Good timing.
Actually, guys,
If you want to keep this, I mean, I do have an empty bottle. I have an empty bottle. I got an empty bottle. I can just.
Rodney had to say something. Hold on.
I'm gonna have to bail because I'm driving tomorrow and I got to be up at 5 a.m. So
no worries.
I would love to stay around and talk to you all night long, but I got to get in bed.
Before you go, Rodney, please also to plug away what you're doing, brother.
I am working currently on issue 3 of Pitter Patter. I am working on issue 4 Roadkill Rampage script. Issue 3 is done and it's in the hands of Adam Fields. We announced that tonight. Adam Fields is the artist we've signed for issues 3 and 4. I'm also working on a comic book for kids. It's a 12-page book that we're doing, and all the proceeds are going to go to Comic Books for Kids. It's a charity that donates. They take the money that we raise, and they give it to the hospitals and stuff, and they buy toys and Pez dispensers and comic books and stuff for the kids who are in the hospital for pediatric cancer and heart surgeries and stuff like that. So I have donated my artwork. I'm doing the interior artwork. Russell Allen wrote the scripts. Steph Wilson did the cover for it, and I'm doing the interior artwork. I just penciled the first 2 pages today, so I'm doing that as well. And that's what I'm doing. I stream on Thursday nights and Friday nights. Thursday night Throwdown, Friday night Draw with Sean Forney, so you can catch us there 8 o'clock Eastern. And I try to hop on as many podcasts as I can, hang out with all my friends, and talk nerdy. So
it's always a pleasure having you on, Rodney. Thank you again, brother.
Thank you so much for having me. Good seeing everybody. Nice to meet everybody. Everybody have a great night. Have fun, guys.
And while we're at it, we're gonna go on a quick break, guys. Intermission. Playing 3, 2, 1 now. And there we go, back from intermission. So, what's up, guys? It's a nice little intermission there for nerds. Get everybody a little break. So,
I felt like dancing music.
I'm definitely bringing the club back to nerdom. There we go. But we were touching up on Star Wars. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna finish up with Star Wars. We're going to then talk about the Marvel Doctor Strange trailer, and then we're gonna close out with Peacemaker. Jerel's gonna leave before Peacemaker because again, we don't want to spoil the show for everybody. So we're gonna start off So we're going to start off with Morgan with this one. Give us your final thoughts on Star Wars. How did you feel about this Book of Boba? Likes, dislikes, everything. Just give us your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I was disappointed. I think I would have felt absolutely dismal if Mandalorian hadn't come first. But I think I was still riding a little bit of a high from season 1. A lot of different things thrown out there, just something different, but still within the Star Wars universe. Boba Fett, when he first appeared, I thought, great, there's a tie-in, it's going to be amazing, great fighting, all the rest of it. And then just to see him just slowly getting old and tired, and I'm interested in peace now because old people can't be warlords and all that sort of stuff. It just made me feel old and tired, and I already feel like that enough, so I don't want to feel like that anymore.
Morgan, you can still be a warlord. Don't worry, I believe in you. You can still be a warlord.
Let's do it.
Thanks, man. That's all I ever wanted. Yeah, so, and there were some great things in there. I love some of the characters. I absolutely despise the mods and everything to do with that whole thing. Again, that just makes me feel old, and it makes me feel like young people I don't have anything in common with them anymore. But there was still some really good stuff. Some of the small scenes, like when they went into not the cantina, whatever that thing is with the chick with the long things down that's sort of running the show, and it gets bombed at the end.
Sanctuary, like I think they called it, or something.
Yeah,
like
that sort of thing. That I thought could have been really good, and they could have developed some sort of things with that character and Boba trying to get solidify power and stuff. Didn't really happen though. But anyway, yeah, I thought there was some great stuff and some terrible stuff. And I'm still riding on Mandalorian, so it's okay. It's all right.
Jerel, give us your final thoughts.
Okay, here's my thought, my main thought. Where was the book in Book of Boba? That is the question. Yeah. You guys know where the book was in the Book of Boba. And I'm going to mic drop that right now. And but all that said, I mean, a lot of Book of Boba was a lot of just unrealized potential. They had so much they could have done, and I don't know. I can still remember when they said Boba Fett will return in Book of Boba. Oh my gosh, that was a nerd moment right there. And I had to say, it's like every episode, I was just saying, well, it's a slow burn, and it just kept on burning.
Yeah.
The Mando appearances were great. Felt like it was. I mean, and considering that was done by Bryce, oh my gosh, it's like her directing chops since Mandalorian to like this. That was the most. That was the most Star Wars thing in Book of Boba. And did I'm sure you guys mentioned it in your last review. That whole ring world. That's like I want to see Master Chief like drop in there. I thought that was so cool.
That's March. That's March.
Yeah, that would have been
so much
that would have been where you
March.
could see the mods. The mods should have been on Ring World. I think that
No, they should just been gone.
I just think that was kind of weak. I told you how I think the whole thing should have been done. Executor 6 all the way, Dengar, Musk, Forlom, Zuckus, Brick, IG88, they could all have been there. So like if I think somebody said something during Friday Freestyle, which was really funny. I think it might have been Vic. He said something like it should have ended when they showed Cad in the Bacta tank. It should have been actually Boba, and his eyes open up, and then it's like, oh, it was all just a dream.
Yeah.
and then they could have gone into the Mandalorian featuring the Book of Boba. That would have been the way to do it. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm glad they kind of went out there and tried something, but yeah, it was a little bit of a miss for me. So Rick, go ahead. Give me
Rick, take it away. Rick, give your
I
thoughts.
actually missed hearing that. Rick, take it away.
Don't get teary-eyed. Don't get teary-eyed on me there.
The nostalgia. No. Speaking of Ringworld, did anybody else notice that there was a certain ship in the background in one of the shots that looked kind of like Darth Maul's old ship?
I'm gonna have to look that.
I gotta look at that again. I heard
that.
some stuff that like they try to connect some stuff with Darth Maul, but
I don't think it is the Darth Maul because he did. He got dead.
It would be Kira, right? Because they're doing her own thing.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I forgot at this point.
You know,
Yeah.
They had in the Rise of Skywalker, or the Skywalker, the last Sky. I don't know what the name of that stupid movie was.
The shitty last movie.
They had that bounty hunter ship that was like pursuing. That had that dagger. What's his name? Gucci or Geechee? I don't know what his name is, but it was like that bounty. I've been trying to forget about it, but that bounty hunter ship was sitting in the middle of the desert for all that time. It's like, oh look, there's a ship. Let's get on it. Oh look, there's a droid that knows all about all this. It was anyway. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Rick.
To answer to sum up the show for me, well, I started with the sum up clusterfuck. Because it was a clusterfuck, and that doesn't mean I'm saying it was all bad or all good. It was just a clusterfuck. Well, we're gonna soon talk about a show that shouldn't be as good as it is, but Book of Boba Fett should have been better than it was. It's how I see it.
All right.
Yeah.
Tony.
Man, what can be said that has not been said by everyone who had on this show? Just to reiterate, I think it was just a missed opportunity. We were really excited for. Oh shit! Is that me or something?
Someone got some static going on.
It happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were really excited for the show, especially at the end of season 2. The way he walked in and just killed Bib Fortuna, and we're like, all right, well, where's that Boba? Where's that guy who's just walking in and shooting people who betrayed him? Just a missed opportunity altogether. Just, the way it was named as Book of Boba, and just felt like, I don't know what he's doing. I don't get it. It's the slow burn. It was literally just an ember of a fire that couldn't keep you warm, and you're desperately trying to stay warm in the cold. Like that's what this was, unfortunately. There were parts that I did enjoy, but it really does lean. It uses Mandalorian and Grogu as a fucking crutch. Like hard body used as a crutch when they made a whole episode without Boba. It's a crutch. and it shouldn't have been called Boba. It shouldn't have been called Book of Boba. It should have been called Mandalorian and just been focused on Boba Fett and having Mando just show up and help out. Or even if it was Book of Boba, maybe just give us his whole thing with the Sand People and make it more about where he is up until we see him in season 2. Right? Because I from the jump with the show, I loved all the past stuff. I thought that was the best. That was the best of this show with Boba, was everything in the past, and Mando, fleshing out the Sand People and really giving them a culture and making you think about them differently from what we're used to seeing them, and just that whole aspect like changed everything for me. And then just what they were trying to do in the present, it just wasn't sticking. It felt it took too long. You weren't using your assassins right. What Finnick did in that last episode and took out the mayor and the Pikes, she should have done that since day one.
Yeah.
She should have did that fucking day one and let the power vacuum that he has to fill be the issue, and him deal with those 3 families.
Yeah.
And like that, because the using the Hutts, missed opportunity. Why have them show up and
Just for
make
them
this
to be like,
make this big to do? The Hutts are huge to do in the syndicate, and just.
That's book 2.
Yeah, I don't want book 2. I want Mandalorian. I want Mandalorian return.
You are not an essay of Boba Fett anymore.
I don't think we're getting a book 2. I even if we do, like, I don't want it. Like, I don't. The way they ended it, it sounded like he didn't want it, because he sounded like he was just like, I'm too old for this, or I don't know what I was doing.
All right, Danny Glover, let's relax.
It was so disappointing.
Book of Cat Bane, where he becomes a Banzer herder.
Oh my god! Yeah, ultimately, like in the beginning, I was like here for it until like literally they were like, we're gonna use Mando, we're gonna use Grogu, and it became a completely different thing. It was kind of like me telling my friends, like, wait for it, wait, and then they like nothing happened, and I was just like, did someone get like water on the fuse or some shit? What the fuck happened? Like, we were so excited for like the thing, and the thing never happened. There was like we've been saying all show, like all these missed opportunities of like just greatness, and it was just like, come on. Anything, please. Like, even the glimpse of him, how he showed up in season 2 would have like been like, oh shit, but it wasn't there. And the fact that like Din had to carry your entire franchise or your entire series again, come on. Like, at that point, why even have like a whole new series just to be like, this is just a little placeholder so we can hold you over until we give you season 3. Just tell us the book of or just tell us season 3 is going to be delayed for an extra year, and we're like, all right, cool. Like, I wouldn't even care at that point.
Yeah, that would have been better.
I would have been.
That would have been better. That would have been better than, no, we are giving you this Boba Fett, the Disney Princess movie instead.
Like, if you were gonna give me all this stuff with like the syndicate and all these crime stuff like that, like me and Tone and Sebastian were talking about early in the season, like, give us more of that, like, and make us feel like we're in this like crime world of Star Wars. This felt very like crime world of Star Wars cut, and then now we're just gonna do like 2.5 of Mandalorian, and we're like,
but you know what? The one,
if you're gonna commit.
I'm gonna tell you, then one net positive from this is that
there's a positive.
I'm gonna tell you right now. There's a positive. There is a net positive. Is that we will not have to waste precious of our 8 episode season 3 of Mandalorian with a how does Grogu come back arc.
Exactly.
It's already done. We get 8 episodes of Return to Mandalore, and I'm here for it.
So, do you think Grogu bribed R2 and they did it to like steal Luke's X-wing?
No.
I would have loved to see that. It's like Grogu steals the ship.
Yes, there was.
Grogu.
He just gave him the deal, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of the one that got away for Luke, and he just feels like it's his first teaching. It's his first teaching moment,
humility,
fail. But like also like I just felt why the fuck are you giving him a choice? What is this? Like,
there is no choice.
Didn't the Jedi Council like go to like your hubris for the? It's just like, yo, you learned this lesson way later, as you realize in the horrible sequel trilogy. But my God,
there's no
like
choice.
Legends Luke, and like the fact that he rebuilt the whole Jedi Order, and like he was he's the guy, and like I don't know why they did what they fucking did, but you just like you have to find a way to make Luke go down, and you just made Grogu leaving, essentially Yoda 2.0, and like all of this, and like your I can't think of the words, but whatever. Your angst of being a teacher, you're not being your self-doubt of being a teacher, of doing this, and it's there. And you decide, well, you can have a choice. You can be with your friend who raised you and protected you, or you can have this lightsaber that means fucking nothing to you.
Yeah, fuck off too.
Object.
Or fuck off. I'm taking the mithril and I'm gonna go on an adventure.
You know, if you think about it though, if this is going to be a lesson for Luke, he did the same thing. He went down to Bespin. He gave up his training to go to Bespin. So maybe this is like one of those little weird fan fiction things, speculation, that maybe Grogu does this thing. He goes off with Mando, and he's going to be the Mando / Jedi, and he's going to get the dark saber, and he's going to unify Mandalore. He's gonna take it back from the Terminators, because that scene with the Terminators was just blew my mind. I was waiting to see the T-1000s come out. You know, that was
the T-1000s in Peacemaker.
Yeah. There you go. Spoiler.
So we got our thoughts on that, on Star Wars, on Book of Boba, and then the simple fact, the choose the sword and you join me, choose the ball, you join that whole callback. But there was something that aired interesting during the Super Bowl. There was something that aired really interesting.
Something interesting happened during the Super Bowl.
Something that was
Can I just say, for context, these two ass clowns, like, both texted me. They were like, "Yo, fucking, did you see the trailer?" I'm like, I'm midstream. Like, I have no idea that the trailer dropped. They're like, "Watch this trailer." Then I have people in my comment section of my stream going, "Watch the trailer." I'm like, I still have I have like 30 minutes left to stream. I promise. When I'm done with stream, I'm jumping right into the trailer. I promise you.
So like your reaction on live. Like I don't, you know.
So
I get it.
Morgan, have you seen the trailer? Are you looking it up now?
Yeah, I'm looking it up now. I haven't seen it.
All right, so we're going last.
He's like all silent. He's like going, "What are they talking about?"
So we'll start the other day. I'm gonna pick.
We'll go around and then give you time to watch.
Rick, we will let you start this also. When you saw the Multiverse of Madness trailer, what were your thoughts? And then we'll start once Morgan sees it. We'll go into some speculations.
I have one word. Clusterfuck. No. No. Well. See, Sebastian, you know my feelings about Doctor Strange and how he's not even a sorcerer at any point. Even a level 3 sorcerer can do better than whatever he does. So I'm not really a big fan of the guy who says he's a sorcerer supreme, but can't even produce a fucking spell without a teenager to ruin it.
Okay, the trailer.
Bring it back, Rick.
He's not a sorcerer. He's not a sorcerer.
I waited with this hot take for almost 3 months now, okay? So I had to put it out. 3 months, Sebastian, have had me waiting.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, the trailer looked fun, looked interesting. I'm not into the magical side of Marvel. Not big fan of that. I mean,
no magic for you. 10 years.
No, and Scarlet Witch, I've never liked her, even in the comics or even.
Yo, Rick, you coming in hot today, bro.
I told
you radioactive, bro. Like Chernobyl hot coming in.
No, I've been a comic book fan, read comics from. Yes, since I can remember, I've never liked Scarlet Witch, and bringing her into the movies didn't make it better. I never liked magic in the magic stuff in Marvel either, so it didn't really grab me like, oh shit, I need to watch that.
Is it because you don't think Marvel does magic right, or you just don't like
just don't like magic. I've never seen or read Harry Potter. For that sake either.
Got it.
Okay,
like
that explains
magic
it.
or
that explains
No, I'm not into magic at all. Like Harry Potter doesn't say anything to me either. Gandalf couldn't be less interested. Your voice went out.
Your voice went out, Tone. That's it. Like you Tone.
I think your mic went out.
We can't hear you, Tone. We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
We can't hear you. You're dead. You're dead.
Get muted, shit, Tone.
It was magic.
It was magic.
You're muted. You're muted.
You're muted. Oh, bye.
Oh.
Okay, we voted him off the show. Oh no.
Oh no.
Morgan, did you see the trailer?
Yeah, I saw it ages ago.
Oh no.
That's great.
What?
All right, Morgan, go ahead. You can take on the trailer.
Yeah. I just saw it. So I got 3 thoughts based on what I've seen. He has a powerful beard in that trailer. Like he is coloring that shit like nobody's. But if you see how sharp it was and like just rich in color, dude, just let it go grey. Come on, man. Anyway,
he's using that Gillette for sure.
He absolutely is. The other thing is, and no one picks this up, but when you're in a little bit of music snobbery, when you're in music, you're used to hearing, and everything is about hearing. So he just doesn't have the American accent right. It's close, but it just bugs me.
You're right.
Let him do a UK accent. It's fine. I know it's not canon, but just let him do that, and then it sounds so much better in his natural accent. Anyway, that one. And then the third point was I saw what I presume is the evil Doctor Strange,
with
which
the arms
is from the what if thing and from other stuff. And
yeah,
that was pretty cool, but I can't remember because I just saw it like 2 seconds ago. Did that version have an English accent? Because he should have, because all villains in Hollywood movies that are villains
are British,
have a UK accent.
Yeah.
Either British or German.
Fair. I should do that. Then everyone watching could know, oh, he's bad because of his accent. I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it. I think there's some great stuff in there. I'm fine with magic. It's okay. It very rarely makes sense, but I think it's going to be fun. I don't know. I just saw it. I can't remember what I saw, man. It was great.
Too much pressure.
It's late in the afternoon for Morgan. Give him a break.
It's coming on to 2 p.m. soon. I gotta go to sleep.
He hasn't had lunch yet, so
I'm eating now.
Asking me for too much.
Jerel, what is your thoughts?
I ate that thing up. Like, it was good. I thought it was good. Tons of Easter eggs. I was like watching like all the things about all the little nerd stuff that I didn't even pick up. People were noticing in some of the explosion scenes, or maybe it was the movie poster. They were talking about how there was like a fragment of Captain Carter's shield that was in there. There was the whole Patrick Stewart, man. We heard his voice.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the supposedly supposedly see the Illuminati.
Yep.
I dig magic. I dig cosmic. I just hope that this whole next phase of the MCU just doesn't get too in on itself, because we still haven't figured out who the main baddie is yet. Is it Kang? Is it somebody else?
There's a lot of them. They're going with a lot of different stories, but
it was good. I liked it.
It's confirmed, yes, that is Patrick Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
It's confirmed we're getting the Illuminati. Mm-hmm. There are rumors that Tom Cruise's Iron Man is going to make an appearance in this.
I heard about that.
Because there are when you look at it, there are Ultron robots that are taken in Strange. There are rumors that we're getting a variant of Black Panther. There are rumors that Baron Mordo is on the Illuminati. So there are a lot of different takes. And as you mentioned, that Shattered Glass poster, there are rumors that Deadpool might be in this movie too.
I don't want the comedy in this thing.
I thought you were going to say with the Shattered Glass that it was going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, but
I wouldn't be surprised because they said the cameos. They said that there are rumors that John Krasinski's may be playing Reed Richards and maybe the Reed Richards on there in the Illuminati. And
there's supposed a whole leaked. So the way that they leaked the cast on the bill for when they dropped the tickets for Spider-Man, somebody apparently did the same goof where they released the names for some of the the main cast. So apparently Andrew Garfield, Tom McGuire is supposed to be in this again. We're supposed to be getting Tom Cruise is heavily rumored. Obviously, we heard Patrick Stewart. But interesting fun fact, someone said it's not going to be the Patrick Stewart that we know. It's going to be because what's coming out on Disney Plus is the old X-Men cartoon revival. So they're saying that it's going to be a live action version of that Professor X.
Interesting.
Because we see there's in the glass somewhere, it doesn't look like live action. It looks like a comic panel, so it's like a still from the anime series. So they speculated that.
Cool. I could eat that up too.
I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for whatever this. They're throwing so much. We saw Monica Rambeau as her full on getup for a brief second. There's so many
saying that's Iron Man.
Huh?
Oh,
everyone's saying that's Iron Man.
Yep.
Really?
They're saying that it could be Superior Iron Man.
Superior Iron Man for the Illuminati. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. As long as it's not Captain Marvel, I'm okay with that.
I thought it was Monica. Honestly,
I thought it was Monica too. And then I was watching Screen Crush, and he kind of stilled it, and he showed a picture of Superior Iron Man and how the still they got, and it's the visor across the eyes, and he gets a chin strap sort of mask.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it looks. That's also the Ultron bots too. There's definitely an Iron Man variant in there.
Yeah, variants. That's the word.
I am very excited.
Going on for sure.
I am very excited. And for those who are joining us, make sure to check out the link in the description for Morgan Quaid's Kickstarter for Shadow's Daughter. Kickstarter is there. Awesome comment to add on. Go back and watch the episode on demand. We covered that in the first 20 minutes of the episode. Talk to Morgan, get to know him. But I'm going to give Jerel the opportunity about, because we do not want him to get spoiled with Peacemaker. But before you go, Jerel, you get followed.
Yeah, I missed the whole shit, man. Fuck this.
I wanted to actually see Tone's spoiler.
Yeah,
let's
get Tone's reaction to the trailer first, though, because he didn't give his reaction. He had a technical difficulty.
Yeah, I did. You goddamn right I did. This is some bullshit, man. My computer still isn't even restarting. I don't know what happened.
Oh no.
Anyway,
that sounds bad. Yeah.
It's all right. It's okay. Things
You're
happen.
still not pretty, Tone, so it's okay.
I know.
There you go.
I know. Anyway, so my reactions to said trailer was, my body can't get hype enough, man. I cannot sustain the hype I get from this shit. It can't be. It's not healthy.
The flex that they had to release the trailer the same week that we got the suits from DC for the upcoming Black Adam film. What a fucking flex! Everyone was all hype about Black Adam and DC, and then but we're gonna just slide this Doctor Strange trailer in there.
Go Tone.
I mean, dude. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, in all seriousness, I'm telling you, man, it's really that. I can't, I don't get it. You want it, you thought Spider-Man, that was the peak of hype because of everything they brought in. Then you watch Spider-Man, holy shit, it's the greatest Marvel movie I've ever fucking seen, right? It's amazing. Right. And then you're all right, Multiverse of Madness is going to be a good time. We're going to get some cameos. And they're no, these are going to be the most amount of cameos you're ever going to see. And you're we'll believe it. And then they do this bullshit. They show you a 30-second spot on the Super Bowl, even though Disney has money. They can pay for the whole 2 minutes. They can pay for the whole 2 minutes.
Yo,
but they don't
salty as fuck right now.
But they don't do that. They're go watch the whole trailer on the app. And you know what my ass did? I stopped eating, cleaned my hands, got my phone, and went to the trailer. Because how can I not watch it? You give me zombies, and I'm not gonna watch this fucking trailer? Get the fuck out of here. And then I'm like, you see the Illuminati? Me and Seabass are talking. I'm like, yo, what is this? What is this? Where is this? And you see the Illuminati. I go on Reddit. You're like, it was motherfucking Charles. Like, you know, what? What are you doing? It's Patrick Stewart. I'm like, yo, I can't. I don't know. I'm telling you, my body can't sustain this level of hype. My heart can't take it. My arteries can't take it. It's just like I don't know what Marvel's doing to us. And like, I know we're eventually going to get like the dud of duds. Like, it's just, you can't keep riding this wave. I need the dud to happen with like something bad. Maybe a show. Maybe it was Eternals. You know? Maybe
okay, I missed your Eternals episode. But... I liked it.
So I liked Eternals. The villain sucked, and it was a trash.
Same. Yeah.
It was trash. The villain, whatever they did with the Deviants, it was such a wash, and it was a waste. It really truly was.
It was a pretty movie. That's all it was. It was a pretty movie.
It was a director's film.
It was a good movie, but it would be the only.
Listen. This is kind of like a slap in the face, but also not. It would be the only Marvel movie that could probably win an Academy Award because it would be critiqued by actual people who watch movies.
Yes.
Oh, whatever.
You know. But anyway, no. I'm super excited for Multiverse of Madness. We're gonna see it day weekend of or whatever. I'm not ready for the variants that we're gonna see. Like, and if they do the Illuminati and we get like either it's recastings of certain characters or we're getting like these people who are going to be, if we get Fantastic, if we get Black Bolt, we get Namor or whoever.
Also, if we're getting the Illuminati and we get even some recognition of Reed, we're at some point, that means we're going to get Council of Reed and no one's going to be able to handle that shit. You know this, right?
Yep.
There's so much stuff. Secret Wars, the Secret Invasion. I mean, there's just so many directions.
So many secrets.
We're getting Secret Invasion, so it only makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Jerel, give us your plugs.
Yes.
All right. So I feel really bad that I didn't watch Peacemaker. But I'll cap your episode.
You're not missing anything.
Really? I heard so much good stuff about it. But anyway, so if you don't know me already, I'm Jerel Finale. I come in only on the last episodes of certain series on the Nerds to talk. So anyway, I'm from Comics Cast, and I want you guys to know that we have Friday Freestyle. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday, as long as we can have it. And it's just nerd talk. We decide basically we can't top Nerds of the Round on Tuesdays, so we have to like just fake it on Friday and be just like you guys. But it's Friday Freestyle. We get anybody's welcome to come into open studio. We talk nerd stuff, we talk geek stuff, and if you have any guest that wants to come in there and plug their campaigns, you're welcome to do it. It's a good time. That's on Friday. Sunday we have Let It Out. You already know what that's about. If you're Rick, Rick was my former co-host. He's gone on to do better things, his personal projects, but Let It Out is still going on. Basically, we feature indie creators from all walks of life. We tell their story. We draw along with them. We make sure we get eyes on them. So new things that we're doing. We have the community magazine that Joe has been spearheading. It's actually going to be a print piece, and it's going to be all sorts of love. It's going to be poured into that. If you guys are a fan of the Wizard magazine back in like the 90s, that's like our model. We want to kind of try and do something like that. And we also have coming in March, we're going to have this nice, really cool thing that we're doing for some indie creators called Last Indie Character Standing. That's going to be a little bit of a hint. We're going to be doing something similar to like the March Madness bracket where we pit indie characters against each other. Come out and vote. Look for that social media push that we're going to be doing in March. And the last thing that we're going to be doing is our partnership with Golden Fight. We want to put together a similar to what Rodney was doing, is we want to put together like a coloring activity book featuring some of our former guests on our shows to help raise money for a great charity. So check out Golden Fight, check out Comics Cast, and that's pretty much it. So I had a great time.
It's always a good time to see you, Jerel.
I love you guys.
I love you, brother, man.
I love you,
Take
Joe.
it easy.
And, I'm just like gonna have to catch up with Peacemaker and watch this afterwards on demand. So.
There you go. Watch it on demand.
Morgan, I want to tell you, love your work, love what you're doing. I I want to see. I want to back all indie creators. I just don't have the Jeff Bezos dollars and Disney dollars to do that. But Morgan, if you want to plug on another show, you're welcome to come on the Comics Cast, and we will spread the word. Drop me. I'll watch this episode, or if you want to drop your contact information in there.
Got you guys. I'll connect you too.
I'll talk to Sebastian about that. Be more than happy to plug your stuff. If I can't get you on the show, we will definitely promote you on our Comics Cast page. But what I saw, brilliant stuff. I had to check out the music though, because if you got that many guitars in the background and you do hip hop, oh my gosh, I just can't wait to hear what that sounds like. But
Thanks,
I will
man.
say a fond farewell to all of you until the next finale. So see y'all later.
Peace out, Jerel. And now we will go into Peacemaker and remove Jerel from the broadcast. But
By the
also
way,
too.
quickly, Morgan, I just jumped in and backed your stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
Dude.
Awesome.
Thanks,
There
man.
you go. See?
Awesome.
So again,
Oh,
for those who
I forgot to mention, just for anyone in America as well, I've got a US printer. So the printing costs, the shipping costs are down for you guys as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. Okay.
But sorry,
Look at
Rick, I
you
don't
being
have anyone.
thoughtful.
Oh, look at you.
Look
You're
at you being
you're so
thoughtful.
nice.
yeah,
Morgan, can we
so-
keep you? You're so nice.
But for those who are wondering, yes, this is the Kickstarter. The link is in the description. I've been throwing it in the comments for you guys. Go check it out. Check out the music too. Check out Morgan's website. Definitely has some awesome stuff there. Definitely with the tunes and all that. But back this Kickstarter, you're going to get a great comic added to your collection.